Let's see, Bailey,
Wait a
Sasha
second.
Banks,
Wait,
Charlotte.
can I just
I'll take
stop you
all
right
those
there?
guys. Gals,
So,
girls, whatever you want.
Asuka hasn't had a snap in the regular season. She has
I
been
don't care.
AAA practice squad.
I'll
and you're
take
willing
her
to
right now. As an
over one
in-ring-
of the greatest Divas champions of all time.
Greatest Diva champion. She's probably she's one of the greatest entertaining champions. I
She's
won't
one
say
of the greatest Divas champion. The problem is we're in the women's generation now.
That's Divas. That's all. Asuka, as you say, has never taken a snap, hit the ropes on the main roster. I will take her right now in a wrestling match. I mean, obviously, Mike's skills. She's still learning the language and everything, so she doesn't really cut. She's doing the Shinsuke thing.
Excuses. Come on,
But she doesn't cut promos like.
Wait a second.
What?
Let me just say this. Brandon, you just said, this is the most hypocritical thing I've heard on this show. Just earlier you said, Neville with the mic, what are you going to do? He sucks. And now with
But I said he's a good wrestler.
Well, she needs to keep learning the language. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. You can still be entertaining and be a great in-ring performer. You don't have to be great on the mic to be entertaining. Cesaro showed us that for a long time before he was even speaking.
But you just said that Asuka, she's going to learn it because she's still learning the language. Like you're saying that, she's going to get better at that. But she's head and shoulders. You can quote me on this right now. She is the best wrestler in the women's division right now. That's my bold statement right there. And she's going to run ramshot all over this women's revolution, the four horsewomen. I love Bailey. Sasha Banks is great. You got Charlotte and Becky Lynch. You have all these great competitors, but Asuka is going to run. She's going to run all over this division. She's going to just take care of business. Why do you think she's never lost in NXT? Because WWE is that much. She hasn't lost a preseason game. That's what you're saying. She hasn't lost a preseason game.
No, it has nothing to. She was in WWE. It doesn't. NXT is one of the premier places to be, and that's why. Look at this. Drew McIntyre could have gone to. Any of these people, Drew McIntyre could have gone to Ring of Honor. He could have gone, to, Global Force Wrestling.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, but here's the thing. NXT is the number 2 right now. Obviously, when it comes to, promotion, so to speak. Because I call NXT a little bit different. It's WWE, yes. But it's kind of its own baby, so to speak. It's Triple H's baby compared to Vince's baby. So guess what?
You're saying that, and this is it. When she broke the streak, the Goldberg streak in preseason, people were making a big stink about it, and I was like, it's not a big because that wasn't counting the regular season. That is counting preseason, in my opinion. So you're making it sound like this preseason streak that she had is like New England Patriots level, and I say no. Look at the level of competition. That is definitely not on the same playing field.
I'm going to tell you right now, Asuka, and you can quote me on this. You can say that, for all our fans out there, you can, quote me on this. Asuka is going to run roughshod over this. All right,
forget Asuka. Nikki Bella and Bria Bella. Paul, what do they have to offer to WWE?
Nothing.
This is the thing. Oh man,
they don't. Nothing from an in-ring perspective. No, that's done. No, it's not. They're not that great of in-ring competitors. I think they're super entertaining. I do watch the Total Bellas and the Total Divas show. They are super entertaining. I do like to see what they do outside of the WWE, so to speak.
Okay, so you said you would take any women over them. So Emma, you would take Emma over both Nikki and Brie?
In ring, yes.
Oh, that's a joke.
I would. Because
next question.
Emma's a good wrestler.
I do say that there are some women. Obviously, Lana is somebody who is similar to Nikki in the sense
Lana,
of...
I don't even put Lana in the category of anybody. When I say anybody, I don't mean Lana because Lana can't wrestle. We know
Lana's
she's
Nikki.
a mouthpiece. That's why she's on Total Divas.
And that's why her WWE. They brought her back in the ring and they tried putting her up there with the women of today. And she lasted 2 pay-per-views, lost both times, and now she's back down to not.
Yeah, she's not doing anything. That's the thing, and it's no disrespect to the Bella twins. They are very entertaining, but they've never. If you ask any wrestling fan, they're going to tell you, yeah, they're entertaining, but guess what? Are they really good wrestlers? They're not. So I don't want to see it. No, how are they? You're telling me
how are they not?
They're
You've
not.
just been saying this entire time. You've given no specific example. You're just generalizing.
No, I'm not.
No, they're not.
They're not technical wrestlers. They
entertaining.
They don't put on a good show like that. They don't.
I disagree.
Asuka, you're going to see Asuka. She's going to tear it up. I'm
Stop
telling you.
bringing up Asuka. Can you talk about Nikki Bella? Show me the example of why she's in a good wrestler.
I would love to see.
What about her?
Bring Nikki Bella in, and Asuka will just knock her block off. There you go.
You keep bringing up Asuka.
Because she's that good. I've watched her in NXT
How about
for the
everyone
last.
else?
Huh?
This is what we're talking about. We're talking about bringing her back. We're not talking about bringing her back for a one-off against Asuka. We're talking about bringing her
I don't
back
want her back.
to the fold.
Don't want her
But-
back. She's good.
Okay.
Right off in the sunset. She can do her show and do the Dancing with the Stars thing. That's totally fine. I'm good with that. It's nothing against her. I just don't think she's that great of a wrestler. And as a wrestling fan, I don't want to see her in the ring. That's just me.
Kind of a one-off, off the topic of the Bella show. You know me. I'm full of all this great and wonderful knowledge.
Of course you are.
That's how I am.
That's
so
Wikipedia.
if you, and I've known this, and I kind of rehashed in my brain. I watched Total Bellas the other day. Now, we're all familiar with Lauren, who is the wife of the Bella's brother.
Yeah, JJ. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you want to talk about winning the lottery? We recently here in Central New York, somebody won $100 million in Cortland County, and that is what people say a local winning the lottery. This is a local winning the lottery. I am actually friends with one of Lauren's original friends, let's say, back when she was one of us. So we all know who she is. She's a socialite. Many people say, where do these socialites come from? She was just, maybe an LA socialite rich family. No, she wasn't. She is a 2004 graduate of Liverpool High School right here in beautiful Central New York, and then went on to St. Bonaventure. And after she left St. Bonaventure in 2008, she decided with her friends, like a lot of people do, let's go, seek out some dreams. And I don't even think they were like celebrity dreams of being like an actress or anything. They were just a change of lifestyle. I want to be a receptionist in a better location. So she thought out some dreams, and her and a friend moved out to San Diego, where she at a bar randomly met up with this guy named JJ. This was before, I think this was 2005, so this was before the Bellas were really anything then.
Yeah, they've been together for a while.
So they got together, they lived in their modest, regular apartment in San Diego, and then the Bella thing blew up, which obviously, like the Kardashian syndrome, makes, if you're a celebrity, if you're a friend of a celebrity, that means you're a celebrity in the reality star world. So if you're familiar with what she does now, I think she's a fashion blogger, and her husband is his job title is public figure, and his Twitter description is live like you're always on vacation, aka he's also taking the Bella syndrome from him and becoming a celebrity for being a celebrity himself.
But he does work. He does work for his mom's company. I will give him that.
So, but to show you how it's winning the lottery, that is winning the lottery. A local person. She wasn't from LA. She wasn't from some rich family. She didn't meet him at some big socialite party. She was just a local person who graduated high school in the year 2004, Liverpool High School in Syracuse, New York, and moved out to San Diego just for good old fun, and happened to just meet the right guy at the bar. And, now she's a reality TV star. You're familiar with her. I'm familiar with her. And she is somebody who we all wish that we could be, and that's taking pictures on our phones all day and making a living out of that.
Yeah, and I'm actually, Jarod, not that I ever fact check you, but I'm looking at it, man. Paul, I'm looking at it right now. Syracuse, New York. I had no idea. And I watched the show. I had no idea. Jarod, you got me, man. That's pretty good.
So we move on to question number 2. And I actually originally thought it was this year, which was quite short amount of time. But now I find out it's next year, which seems like it's quite a long amount of time away. And that is Chris Jericho has come up with his idea of rockin' at the sea. There have been wrestling cruises before. There have been rock and roll cruises before. Chris Jericho said, well, I'm a wrestler and I'm a rock star. Let's put together a Rager at the Sea. Chris Jericho's rock and wrestling, essentially, is going to take you from Port Miami down to Nassau on a beautiful 3-day cruise in October of 2018. On that cruise, you're going to see Jim Ross hosting a Ring of Honor, what they're calling Sea of Honor tournament. So this will be the first time ever in the history of the world live professional wrestling on a cruise ship.
Sweet.
Diamond Dallas Page is going to be there. Mick Foley has just signed up to be there. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Rey Mysterio, Raven. There's going to be concerts every day by the band Fozzy and many others. There's going to be a few comedians there. There's going to be Chris Jericho taping a few podcasts while you're there. The average cost for this is going to be about $1,000 a person. You can make it a little bit less if you get more people to sign on. But for the most part, for a cruise from Miami to the Bahamas on 3 days is like one of the cheapest cruises you can find, because it's only 3 days and it's from very close areas that often have cruise ships going in and out all the time. I mean, this isn't from Miami to Alaska. This is Miami to the Bahamas. That's like a day trip for a lot of people. So this is going to be a 3-day cruise, 2 days at sea, 1 day at the Bahamas for 8 hours. But most importantly, they're selling the wrestling. They're selling rock and roll music.
This is awesome, man.
But my question is, though, and I understand that none of us are probably going because we're not going to drop that type of money in the middle of October, especially. It revolves around no regular person's vacation time. Most regular people don't have vacation time in the middle of October. But is this going to be a success?
I think it's going to be. Hell yeah! Why not? It's Chris Jericho.
The average price is $1,000 a person. Are there enough wrestling fans out there who are going to fly on their own dollar to Miami? Because remember, this doesn't include airfare or anything. When they have to take themselves to Miami, and then the average price is about $1,000 a person for an average room to watch Ring of Honor wrestling and see Fozzy perform for a 3-day cruise.
You know what? Paul stopped typing. I was thinking he was trying to get a GoFundMe page going for this, because this would if I had the cash laying around, I would go, because I love music, I love wrestling. Chris Jericho is awesome, so it's like I would drop.
You got a year. It's not till October of 2018.
I know that maybe I should check with the missus at home and see what she says.
Should we take the Heel of the Face podcast on the road or on the sea?
That's a great concept. Maybe we can have a special guest, Chris Jericho, on the podcast. That'd be cool.
Now, Paul, do you think this rock and wrestling cruise, the first time ever professional wrestling on a live cruise ship, is going to be a success? AKA, maybe they're going to do it again after.
Are the Bella Twins going to be there?
No, they are not. I'm actually surprised at some of the names that are going to be there. Mick Foley just recently signed up to be there. But before that, it was pretty much Fozzy and Ring of Honor wrestlers up until about a week ago. So they've started to get a few more names. But again, you're not going to see Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Rey Mysterio in the ring. It's going to be a bunch of Ring of Honor wrestlers who you're probably not too familiar with.
Unless you follow the show.
And more importantly, it might not be some of their bigger wrestlers, because of the fact that they might be running Ring of Honor shows that weekend in the States on solid land. So it's.
But the biggest takeaway I have to say is I know concerts by Fozzy and more.
The more Fozzy's the headliner.
Yeah, we know Fozzy's good, so I like Fozzy. They got some good music. I'm kind of curious to see what other bands are going to come too, because I'm a music guy.
Well, there's a bunch of bands that are on the list, none of which I've actually heard of other than Fozzy. There are a lot of like hard rock, heavy metalish style of bands.
I'll have to look into it, just out of curiosity.
At the end of the day, this is a concept that has been taken up by lots of different acts. I personally watch Impractical Jokers all the time. That's a great show. They've taken their comedy tour on the cruise. So I've never been on a cruise before. I think that would be an interesting experience. And if I was going to go to any, this would have to be, in my top 5 in terms of if I would ever go. This would be in my top 5 in terms of going as far as different ones that I've heard, because, sure, it's Ring of Honor wrestling, so it's not like it's WWE. But, Chris Jericho, the podcast element, and seeing some of the faces like Rey Mysterio, Mick Foley, Jim Ross, even though a lot of these guys you could see in other places, plus Fozzy and the music. I think in terms of the entire experience, it's definitely interesting, and I think it's something they'll be able to do again. But some of the points that you mentioned, that if let's say we wanted to go, we'd have to find our way to Miami, plus the money that's involved in that. So it may be a little too rich for a lot of people, but it'll be interesting to see how many tickets, if they can end up selling out this thing.
I bet you they will. I bet there's enough people out there, I think, that would do it.
Now let me remind you that a similar cruise for 4 nights, porting from Miami to Key West, going down to Cozumel, Mexico, and the Bahamas, has an average price of $290. That's the average. That means that the cheapest ticket is like $200 and the most expensive ticket is like $400. Okay, so the average ticket is about $300 for a regular cruise next October, if you plan ahead this far ahead for October 2018. So you are paying $800 for Ring of Honor Wrestling and Chris Jericho, because it's not a 7-day cruise. It is.
When you put it like that.
Yeah, that might change my tune a little bit.
Yeah, because that's what I'm just trying to say is if this was just the average price of a cruise and I was going to take a cruise.
Jared's a travel agent now too.
If I was going to take a cruise and this was just a regular price of another cruise, yeah, obviously I would probably pick that one.
I would do it even if it was a few bucks more, not like that much more. If it was a few bucks more, if it was like $200 more, I'd probably do it.
Right now,
consider it.
Right now, an interior room next October for 4 days from Key West to Cozumel, Mexico, is $194 on Carnival cruise ships. Now, an interior room just per person. Now, if you have like 5 people, it gets cheaper, but starting out at per person is like $1,500 And then it goes down to $900 if you have 2 people, $700 if you have 3 people, and I think it's $600 if you have 4 people. So it can get down to $600, but you have to have